Here's the conversation now. Shady, if the Jets, who have lost 4 straight, sit at 2-5, if for some reason they lose against Sunday, what happens?
We got to talk about him as the GOAT. We got to have a real conversation. You talking about Aaron Rodgers, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So as much as we want to talk about how great he is and things he's done, he's the best thrower of the football we ever seen, which some people say, which is,
not wild at all.
I didn't say wild. I'm just saying this is like, woof, woof.
Like,
what's the results, though? Because you look so great, right? You've only been to 1 Super Bowl. Then we bring you to New York, to the Jets. Right? Supposed to be the savior. Mm-hmm. We watched a lot of people do it. Joe Montana did it. We watched Tom Brady do it. We watched all these type of other quarterbacks look good. Not saying always win a championship, but just look good. He hasn't yet. So if he doesn't win this game, we got to talk about, is he really in that GOAT conversation?
So you're taking him out of the GOAT conversation?
Yeah, Peyton Manning's another one, though. He brought you a chip, and he looked good when he did it. The first year.
Okay.
The first year, he gave you stats, he gave you some wins, and then he gave you hope. Then the next year, the hope went to Super Bowl.
I mean, here's why Shady makes a good point. Like, if Aaron Rodgers loses again, thus, obviously, the season is a loss. You go 2-6, it's all bad for you. You do have to start the conversation, or at least entertain it, James. When Peyton Manning left the Colts, he wasn't just good. Peyton Manning led one of the most historical offenses the history of the National Football League has ever seen.
That is true.
55 touchdown passes Peyton Manning had in Denver, and he didn't even win the Super Bowl that year. Yeah. When Tom Brady left the Patriots, Tom Brady went to a Tampa Bay Bucks team that hadn't won a Super Bowl since 2002, hadn't been to the playoffs in God knows how long, and instantly won a Super Bowl. When Brett Favre left your Green Bay Packers, had a stint with the Jets, goes to the Minnesota Vikings. If I'm not mistaken, Andy, he goes to an NFC championship game.
It's the Saints.
13-3.
You know who beat him? I was on that team.
Shout out to you, Chase Daniel. Shout out to that Super Bowl you have. GOATs, James, even when they depart, they still do GOAT things.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers has departed and has done nothing. Yeah. So I need to see what that will do. But if they lose, I'm with Shady. A conversation has to be had. What you say, Jay? What happens if the Jets lose
Not in
Sunday?
the GOAT conversation.
They're piling up on you,
Aaron
bro.
Rodgers is always going to be in the conversation for one of the greatest to ever do it. But what I will say is there's a bunch of questions that's going to happen. Should we keep Aaron Rodgers for next year? What are we going to do with Devontae Adams? Should we sign Garrett Wilson? Obviously, who's going to be the next head coach? It's going to be so many questions in New York if they lose this game and you fall to 2-6. Because I ain't going to lie, those is my brothers. Y'all know we FaceTimed them and all that on the show. Those is my brothers. If you go to 2-6, it's a wrap. I don't care nothing about no 2% chance or none of that. It's a wrap. Right? Now, as you're taking the field, how can I stay healthy so I can get to Cabo and chill with the girlie, whatever, the wife, whatever, because it's over. You're not going to the playoffs. It's too many solid teams in the AFC that you ain't going to be able to climb back up the hill and get into the playoffs. It's not happening. And if you go to 2-6, the signs say you ain't a good football team, period, anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, so for Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets, it's going to be so many questions if you lose this game that the owner, Woody, is going to have to answer. Because he has done everything. He done got Hassan Reddick in the building. He got Devontae Adams over there. He flew the jet to go get you, Aaron Rodgers. You got a really good defense. So if you lose this game, it's going to be so many questions. Do we blow the team up?
Yeah.
Like, it's so many questions like that to where I think that with this Aaron Rodgers move, if they don't win this game to have some hope, this move set them back. This move set them back. So as an organization.
So if the Jets lose, you talked yourself through it. So the Jets lose Sunday, they're going to Cancun?
It's over. All right?
They should probably go to DR.
I hope I get invited. Invite me.
Cancun's nice, but DR's probably a lot better. But if they go to Cancun, we can go, though.
We can go to Cancun.
Take Aaron, you know what I mean?
2-6.
Yeah, honestly, when you asked this question, I thought it was a fascinating question because there's a lot of different ways you could look at it. For me, what's even crazier about the Rodgers situation and the Devontae Adams situation, I don't think they're getting out of the GOAT talk, but if they don't make the playoffs this year, okay, they haven't made the playoffs since 2010. It's tied for the longest active drought in all 4 major sports. It's not just the NFL. It's all 4 major sports, which to me, if they don't do this, they have to blow the whole thing up. They have to get on a full rebuild. Because think about it. Aaron Rodgers was the de facto GM this year. He got all his wishes. It's not going the right way. You can't bring in some new offensive guru head coach because they're not going to hire another defensive head coach. Look how that worked out. Say you bring in a Ben Johnson, who in my opinion is probably next in line. He could probably have any head coach job that he wants right now, next year. They're not running Ben Johnson's offense. Aaron Rodgers is only running his offense. He's only ran his offense everywhere he's been. And every single year, Nathaniel Hackett, switch, okay, Todd Downing, they're still running Aaron Rodgers' offense. You're not going to just completely change offenses for 1 year. So in my mind, if you're Woody Johnson, I'm having a migraine on Monday thinking, what do I need to do to get this thing right? Because they are a dysfunctional organization. Let's just call it what it is. At some point, you've got to bring in good leadership. And I'm not saying Aaron's not a good leader. You can say what you want about that. That's not the conversation.
We heard that.
Right?
We heard that.
You know what I mean? It's, can the Jets get right? They have to bring in a quarterback. They have to bring in a head coach. They have to meet in the middle. Those are the type of questions that the Jets are going to be asking.
And I want to leave alone the Jets, because the Jets have been the Jets for a long time. I want to talk just about Aaron Rodgers.
Let's do it.
Because everybody always loves to see how great Aaron Rodgers is. And I always say, I think Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback, and I think that he has special talents, right, of throwing the ball, et cetera. But when I really break down who he really is, he's really just been good in the regular season, right? I'm going to name some quarterbacks. And when we talk about, like, how do you justify how good a player is? Me and Frank Gore, one of my best friends, we always talk about, you could be a great player in this scheme, but can you go somewhere else and win? That's what matters to me, though. If I could take this player, because he's so great, and put him in a whole other team, and they start winning, especially quarterbacks. That's why I evaluate how good you really are. So now, some of these guys, Aaron Rodgers, are supposed to be better than, right? But we just going to talk about what they've done. So a guy like Joe Montana, who does so many great things for the Niners, he goes to the Chiefs, right? They go to the playoffs twice. Both of them years, he goes to the playoffs. That's what happened, okay? Brady. Now, he's with a place for 20-some years. He goes to a whole other team like a new rookie and wins a championship. You talked about Manning, right? However you want to talk about Manning, he leads the coach. He did a lot of great things there, all MVPs, et cetera. He goes to the Broncos. He balls out the 51 touchdowns, and then he wins the championship. However you want to say it, James, he won the championship. They were in the playoffs, which Aaron hasn't been in the playoffs yet. Stafford, he's a little older, though, right? Goes to a new team, okay? Been really, really good with the Lions. You go to the Rams, you win a championship, and you stay in the playoffs.
In playoffs last year,
Michael Vick. Now, most people say Michael Vick ain't the same level as Aaron Rodgers. Cool.
He's not.
Okay. Goes to prison, whatever, right? He's a little older now, not the same flashy, super fast Michael Vick. Comes to Philadelphia, right? We go straight to the playoffs.
Lose to Aaron.
And he was second in the MVP. That's what it was. He was second in the MVP that year. I was like, wow. You go from jail, sitting down, this and that. Imagine being in jail. Like, can't really work out for real. Older dude goes to the playoffs, second in MVP. And then Brett Favre.
Brett, my dog.
I saved the last one for the Packers. Yeah, Brett was old as hell. I can say that because he was really old. Goes to Minnesota, though, dog, because AP he ain't going to no playoffs. AP got all these stats, all these rushing yards.
No question.
No playoffs. Brett Favre steps in the building. I'm here.
He had the best year of his career.
20, 30, or 40, I'm here. What did they do?
Best year of his career.
Go to the playoffs. So all I'm saying is for Aaron Rodgers to be so great, all these guys on this list, I don't know if they're better than Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if they are.
They're not.
But they got better results.
They did.
When they leave their team, another team.
They did.
So if you so great like James Jones tells me you are, show us.
Show us.
Because I'm tired of hearing you talk on our different TV stations about this and that third. I'm tired of interviews.
And that's
show me.
That's the realest thing you said through that whole
that's what I do, though.
At the end.
With that blue
show
Yankee
us.
on.
Because all them dudes you said, they ain't messing with Aaron. But I do agree.
You got to agree.
You got to show us. No, I don't.
all
Michael Vick's and all that, Aaron beat them, and Aaron won a Super Bowl, too. But right now, in this situation, we talk about this, Aaron, you ain't delivered. And you got to deliver. So I agree with Shady. All them dudes, I will never put them dudes in them conversations with Aaron Rodgers. Unless the top two dudes, he said, Peyton and Brady. But them other dudes, I wouldn't put them in that conversation when you talk about the quarterback play. But he ain't showed us in New York.
That's right.
Point blank, period. And it's time to show. And you go to 2-6, it's over. You're going to have the conversations about should we blow it up and all that. You're going to have them conversations. So, end of your take, really good. Beginning, weak.
All I'm saying is this, though. Look, if Aaron Rodgers go out there and ball out, we can't judge him. That's my new thing. That's my new thing. I'm running with that.
Go out and ball out.
Hey, I got a question. Kobe, do we have the... What up, YouTube family? Welcome to the facility. Thanks for watching, and you better be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to get more highlights from the show and all of our exclusive content.